Hello everyone, this is Alice, finally ready to keep sharing. Despite my intention to regularly upload videos on my channel, it turned out I wasn't quite prepared for it. I actually did record several videos, but never felt like uploading them. My newly discovered inner knowing insisted that a great deal of silent internal integration was still needed, and that it was necessary for this mind to slow down and to consciously go through that adaptation period before verbalizing anything. Self-realization made me radically change my perception of human existence, and in itself it was a huge thing, but I also felt that it was only the beginning. First of all, I in this case refers to Alice, the character, had to learn to deal with all that energy that was suddenly unbottled. I couldn't even imagine how much power had been constantly invested in maintaining thousands and thousands of absolutely unnecessary concepts and beliefs, including spiritual ones. You know, it's like a dam holding back immense water pressure for decades that finally bursts. So my dam burst, and all that water, all that released energy, all that unconditional joy that broke free seemed to be about to tear apart, this little human body. And this body had no idea that joy and sense of freedom could be so intense, and definitely it took time for it to get used to such a high frequency. I'm saying frequency because now I perceive everything and everyone as vibration. I really got to believe vibration was the basis for the creation long before my self-realization. But there was, as I know now, there was a huge gap between how the belief and the actual knowing felt. What was also special about knowing was the fact that it manifested itself as something very physical, totally visceral. And it was then when feeling and knowing became one. It was then that I fully realized what it meant to be in the present moment. I remember how I was, trying to force myself into believing, into being in the now. But now it's the present itself that holds me within it, so to speak. I used to chase it, like probably many of you do. Now I belong to it, because we are one and the same process. So, as this intense yet very calm and profound joy gradually became my constant background state, new realizations began to occur. And today I would like to share some of them with you, just because I finally feel inspired to do so. Actually, it was like a gradual process of increasing inspiration, but I think probably it's not inspiration, but getting ready. Feels the same way, it seems. So that's it. I'm here and I'm ready to share. I feel like sharing. And the first Alice's takeaway is as follows. The world does not need fixing. Alice used to have a savior complex, this desire to help everyone, save the world, make it a better place, help the needy, feed the hungry, heal the diseased. How noble and well-intentioned, right? Huh? Now, this desire became non-existent. Yeah, it probably was well-intentioned from the conventional point of view. I'm sorry. But still, it came from a place of separation, limitation, and bondage. Now, I can sense how many spiritual seekers, I used to do that too, resist the idea that everything is okay as it is, and that the world does not need fixing. It's actually it's actually the very idea of fixing and fixes that creates confrontations, problems, and conflicts. And in the past, I would constantly engage in spiritual talks, trying to promote teachings, methods, systems I was following at that point. So now I'm absolutely delighted to have realized that humans are where they are, playing with whatever concepts they find entertaining. Religions, past lives, karma, twin flames, spirit guides, sadness, depression, and so on and so forth. This is the diversity of the creation. This is the diversity of the game of creation. And since I discovered the true freedom as I perceive that, why should I deprive others of their freedom not to be free, for example? Why should I? It does not feel natural at all. Everything is in its place. It feels so. There is no good nor bad. There is only a wide range of vibrations and the games that can be played within this active range. So I understood that by actively wanting to help others, I actually needed to help myself, because I lived in separation. And that's why for me there were concepts like healthy and sick, spiritual and materialist, guru and disciple. All of that disappeared. The disciple and the guru, the healee and the healer, the seeker and what they had been seeking, all became one. All became nothing and everything at the same time. The freedom I got back made it inevitable for me to respect other beings' choice to be sad, ill, depressed, bankrupt, or unhappy. Also, as I see it now, true freedom might be perceived by many as scary and even terrifying, because it implies becoming friends with the unknown, as well as fully responsible for your emotional/vibrational state, which in physical terms requires increasing your vibration significantly. And in human terms, it's a process which has different stages that generally cannot be skipped. Like, it's natural to have stages, like everything in this nature on the planet. So, to me, as I feel it now, oneness implies you accept all the stages and the so-called contrast. Victimhood, unhappiness, or any other type of bondage in this sense may feel much more comfortable for quite a while, as they feel sort of safe and predictable, but at the same time they are quite draining. So sooner or later they will serve as an impulse for a change. And this impulse is unlikely to come from some highly spiritual good doer that decided to help you. This impulse should come from within. This is how this contrast helped me to go search within. Therefore, my human part respects any kind of choices other people make. Knowing that, by the way, he created a sort of contradictory effect in my system, as it may seem. It's like, basically, I don't feel like helping anyone, because now I know that even spiritual seekers have very strong minds that will keep asking questions over and over again, and then the funniest thing is that they will resist the answers. Like, you go ask, but then you don't like the answer, so you like you need a certain answer. Well, this is how the mind works. Nothing can be done about it. And so, to be honest and selfish as well, on the human level, I have to accept that, I would, well, sometimes, I would probably avoid talking to people about non-duality, since knowing what I know is more than enough to feel free and happy in this human experience. Like, I don't need sharing, I just can enjoy that, and that's it. But at the same time, I feel the pull to make myself available, like I must do it. Well, it's really hard to put into words, but in terms of oneness, these two polarities coexist perfectly. It feels perfect. So here I am, guys. I'm available, and I do enjoy having a chance to try to uplift those who come to me. But, well, it's not about fixing, saving, or healing anyone. I'm nobody. And the maximum I can do for you is to get you to see that you are the so-called help you're looking for. That you are the healer you're seeking. There is nothing else. There is no teaching here. I can only share my experience, well, Alice's experience, or whatever her name is, and then you are free to take it or leave it. Both are totally fine. Well, strange things, right? Another thing I took away from the past months is that self-realization doesn't make you a saint. It's not about becoming a good person. It's all about freedom. It's all about becoming non-resistant. Resistance actually is one of the main causes or obstacles that slows down your vibration and makes you manifest all sorts of things you are scared of manifesting. Resistance keeps you from becoming one. Therefore, you cannot be free. You should go non-resistant to become free. And it's scary, and it's difficult, but it's possible. Self-realization does not erase your ego, meaning the preferences your human character possesses. You just realize that it's an invented character that has nothing to do with you, and you just play, and yes, you play with it, with this character, or through this character, if you please. And yes, you play by certain rules, since every game has rules, and you get a bunch of experiences from it that feel pretty real. And in this case, virtual reality video games can serve as a pretty close example. You can feel the pain and the pleasure of the character in a more intense way, though, in our case. But still, it's quite a good example of how it can be experienced. And it's curious that you can, and you actually do, because this is how it is for me now. You experience both the character and the one behind the character. You experience them and their existence and non-existence at the same time. And this makes the game extremely enjoyable. And since the game becomes enjoyable, by default, you cannot vibrate low, which often makes you a better person in the eyes of those who still live in separation. But in fact, as a human, you just become more and more relaxed, more allowing. Also, you become free in your reactions. That, by the way, may turn out quite unexpected for those who believe they know you well. And it's really interesting to observe. For example, you just stop people pleasing, or well, you finally allow yourself to gently decline unwanted offers. You are not afraid anymore of what others might think of you, but at the same time you have more empathy and understanding, more respect towards every living being like never before, because you perceive everyone and everything as part of you. So you don't become a saint because, well, it's a concept that, again, brings you back to duality, because then it implies that the rest of the world is sinful, right? It's separation again. So then it's more likely that you will start seeing everyone and everything as sacred. And then everyone becomes a saint to you, since you know you come from the same source. you see? You just naturally accept the diversity of this imagined world and feel how all of it is just one. One more thing I would love to share is that there is no life purpose as such. I know that some of you might get disappointed. I'm sorry, but this is how I perceive that now. The idea of having to find your life purpose and focus on it in order to attract it and live it and become happy as a result is pretty romantic. But what I personally realized at some point is that the ultimate goal for everyone is to know themselves and to understand who they really are. As soon as this happens, anything can become your life purpose. But it actually is not as important, so to speak, as just becoming yourself. Because most humans try to set goals from their total identification with the character, the so-called false self. And as soon as you realize who you are, you will find the joy and the freedom that can lead you to doing things that you never imagined doing. Like myself, I just dived deep into the world of manual therapy and relaxation, since my self-realization made me see that it would have never been possible to access my inner knowing through my intellect, because it happens through my body consciousness. And to tell you the truth, I absolutely love this non-verbal interaction with the body consciousness of other beings through a loving touch. The word therapy, the concept of therapy actually is not accurate in this case, because nobody's healing anyone. And I just enjoy the flow of this impersonal yet conscious and loving energy running through my heart and my hands, and experiencing absolute unity with it and with my client. It's like creating, well, not creating actually, it's like entering this unified field together with the client. And sometimes, as a result of that, or as a byproduct of that, or a side effect of that, it feels like assisting in my clients' greater openness to their inner knowing. And I believe same would be possible with any other job. You might find it fun becoming a happy plumber. Believe me that an authentically happy plumber is much more powerful in their positive influence than a life coach who is pinched off from their true self. So, in terms of life purpose or mission, my humble recommendation would be that you become your true self first. Go within, know yourself, and the rest will be sorted out for you easily and magically. And as far as the law of attraction is concerned, another thing that I wanted to talk about, in my case, my desires started manifesting faster and easier relatively long before my self-realization. But after it happened, manifesting stuff just lost its importance to me, since the fullness of life became the dominant experience. I mean, It's when you are naturally fine just where you are, having what you have. It's just like that. You're so happy, you are okay with whatever you have, and you are just right here and right now, so you don't think about the future. It's just you are enjoying what you have. And two, so I lost that interest, and it's exactly when my cravings from years ago started becoming reality extremely fast. And to tell you the truth, one should be ready for that on a human level. What's more, I just realized that the law of attraction was not a technique from a famous book. Not just that. Like the technique that you might use to manifest things that you want. It's just a natural law, or one of the game of life rules, if you please, that brings into reality everything that receives your focused attention, be it something you like or something you don't like. Maybe someday I will tell you about things that happened to me, and well, I have no doubt that it's just like that. And focused attention implies active thinking, engaging in conversations, or watching programs related to a certain topic. So it's your food for thought, maybe, because it's quite intense, probably. This this law of attraction thing. It's fun, really. Well, probably I should stop here. There's much more to be said, really, and more topics to be covered, but probably it would be more practical to record a video per topic. What do you think? Well, let's see how it works, and I hope that this video gives you some insights, or at least inspire you to continue with your journey, because you don't really need to achieve self-realization for your life situation to improve right now where you are, because at the end of the day, it's not about achieving goals that are supposed to make you happy. It's about your vibration, which depends on how close you are to your true nature. Or simply put, how satisfied and maybe not happy, but pleased at least you are just right here, right now. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. I hope it made sense, and if it didn't, that's fine. See you next time. Have a nice now.